I'm going to have to cut you short of that rambling there as we're about to go green, and in fact we are green. We are away for the final round of the championship. Away goes Lexner into the lead. Yakubu's going to can't really do anything to get through there. How are they all going to go? They sort of slow down very quite a lot actually to almost go single file up towards the entrance of the Nordschleife, because you don't really want to be going side by side too much, as it looks like everyone has now gone into single file all the way back down. Your orders or leaders are now exiting the opening section. We are now away here at the final round of the season.
Yeah, just on board with Andrew Harper, who's currently in 31st position. He really nearly went into the back of Igmanar Patterson as he, but yeah, as you say, it looks like everyone kind of sort of took their time to make that first corner, and that's another thing about Nordschleife. There's a
Michael Klein around. Yeah, Michael Klein.
Michael Klein is as I was on board with Andrew Harper, so he looks like he's kind of stuck. He's just turning around now. But as I was just saying, on this part of this, one of the problems with this track is it isn't very wide. So when you make it, you've got to make sure you get past. Otherwise, I think it'll be pretty easy to make contact. I think Mike McGear's made up position and got past Jim Nobbs at some point up into 27th position. There's a bit of a gap developing, so it must have been potentially might have been interesting, because there's a 4-second gap now to Paul Fenwick, who's in 26th.
In your middle of your field, though, we do have a number of drivers just sort of all still single file, but at the same time looking for a way through. In fact, Aki Borgstein looks to the inside of Steve Kenwood. There's contact, and off goes Kenwood into the wall, and he's trying to accelerate to get going, but he's going to have to stick it into reverse. And Dan Long, by the look of it, is also around as well on the exit of those corners. So that is not a good start for a number of our drivers here, but for the rest of the field it seems to be a nice start, because Yakubu's been able to hold on to about half a second to Lexner at the moment, and that's a nice place to be sitting.
Aki Borgstein's just spun as well. I just went on board with him as it happened, so he's currently going down the order. Again, one of the tricky things here is you've got to let everybody go.
Oh! He's tried to, but Mike McGear trying to find the way through. There's then additional contact. But now he's found his way facing right again. And again, this is a very difficult circuit, of course, to find your way back around, because it is such a thin circuit and there's so many blind corners. You don't know what's going on through when you turn your next corner.
Yeah, exactly. And I was just saying you've got to wait, and he didn't wait, and whack. So, it's like I could just foresee something coming. But Ismail Yakubu, he's right on the tail of Ferdinand Lechner. I'll be honest, I didn't see that happening. I know we're only on the first lap of how many laps we're actually going to do on this circuit. How many think we're actually going to get through? I had not really done the math. I'm
probably going to think about, I was told by Davey van der Veen it was going to be 10, but I'm expecting probably more likely 9.
Okay. Right, but, so he's within 300 seconds of Ferdinand Lechner.
And he's closing. He is closing, because that was half a second going onto this straight. So he could try and maybe make a way through, or even pressure Lechner into a mistake as they come up towards the carousel here.
We've seen this before, though, so I'm not trying to get too excited. But come on, Yakubu, let's have a battle on our hands tonight, because final round, you want that £100 voucher. Tobias Rona's 3 seconds behind these two, and hopefully he can knuckle down and pull that gap in, because as long as Yakubu is behind Lechner, Lechner's got to have one eye in the back, in his rearview mirror, which would hopefully slow these two down a little bit and help Tobias Rona to catch them up, and Tom Lombards as well. Let's put your metal to the floor, lads, and catch them, and let's have a great race tonight.
Indeed, there are still a number of drivers not too sure how to get through in your middle of the field here. That's the thing, that middle of the battle, you've got cars in front of you, you've got cars behind you, as Charles Batchier goes straight on into the wall. He's back onto the circuit. He's now got John Patterson all over his rear. Had to slow down to avoid hitting the rear end of Batchier as he rejoined the circuit. But that is just it. One little mistake and it sent him into the wall quite heavily. That could be some damage there. Tom Lombards has gone around as well. He's now found his way back forwards again, but he's down to P number 8 as he gets going once more. It's 2 seconds between Lechner and Yakubu now.
got Steve Legale in 17th position, right behind Manuel Alves right now, and then up ahead of them two, you've got John Patterson in 14th and Toby Keller in 15th. But you know, there's a lot of relatively close battles still going on, like you say, in the midfield, really. And you know, like I kind of predicted, you know, slightest mistake in a barrier. And then, as you say, the most challenging thing is to get your car turned around. If you're not facing the right way, depending where you are on circuit, it's a minefield.
Lorenzo Bonda is all over the rear end of Paul Hurlo. He in himself is behind Tom Lombard.
Ollie McGowan is round. Ollie McGowan is... Oh, that's quite nasty. I didn't quite see who he...
Oh my word, that is a big pile up, about 4 or 5 cars. Another car has gone around slamming on his brakes to avoid the contact. That is about 5 or 6 cars involved in that, and that is just before Dotting Joho. That's before the second carousel. You've still got 3 going the wrong way. That was Aki Borkstein. He's found his way through, and it looks now like everyone's got straight again.
I'll get the flags off, because I can imagine, because obviously while that's happening, you've got cars going past other cars and could be giving penalties.
Well, yellow flag's definitely going to be out there, but I think because most of the cars are facing the wrong way, it shouldn't be an issue with regards to penalties like we saw at the opening round.
Right, okay.
But that was a lot of carnage happening there, and a number of cars involved, but the rest of the field has gone through the opening lap almost scot-free, and we've got about a 4-car train battling for P number 7 as they go on to the second lap of this race. We're already 7 minutes in. That's not what I was expecting to say after just 1 lap of racing, but of course a very long track indeed, and over 30 cars heading around tonight. So, and every single one of them has made it off of the opening lap, no matter whether their car's intact or not. They've all crossed that start-finish line.
Yeah, while we're watching that, you know, little bit of havoc there back in the midfield, Ismail Yakubu, unfortunately, is nearly 4 seconds behind Fernand Lechner now. For this is the battle for first and second. And as I went on board with Ismail Yakubu, he missed his apex and went a little bit wide and lost a bit more time. So, yeah, he's obviously pushing very, very hard to try and remain behind Fernand Lechner, but unfortunately, I think Fernand's got the better of him tonight.
I do feel so, but we've still got 52 minutes. Anything can happen. You can see we just...
Tom Lombard has gone into the barriers. He clipped the grass.
But,
and,
well, he's not in anyone's way. Well, now he is. He's parked it on the racing line. A couple of cars going around his outside. But he didn't collect anyone else. So, luckily, it was a single-man incident. That one he's come back on just behind Joel Kuzmin and Charles Baccio. And I feel like we've just had a disconnect. We are down to 30 drivers, but it was not a retirement. It was definitely a disconnect because they've disappeared off of my timing sheet completely. Yeah. So that is a real shame. It could have been a game crash. As you know, we are getting those quite a bit tonight. Looking at Lorenzo Bondolo chasing down Paul Hurlo, P8 and P9. They are continuing on through now.
See if we can actually see an overtake without somebody taking someone else with them.
Well, we can hope. I mean, that's a big dream to be having, I must admit. But it's about 0.3 of a second between them at the moment as they continue heading on through, and probably to one of my my favourite section on the Nordschleife is the next corners.
It's quite challenging as you come up to the right and then to the next left. Sorry, the left and then the right. I promise. And then you've got this downhill section, and it's trying to find the braking point here for the next left, and then you're up the hill. I always struggle with this corner, this right-hander here, for some reason in some games.
It's very weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's tighter than you expect it to be. It kind of, you forget every time I go around. It's like, yes, Paul, it's tighter than you really think. It's kind of like misleading. It kind of like sort of, I don't know. It's kind of like it's misleading in some respects. And then I find that I then clip the barrier on the left-hand side, and then I'm round. So but like I'm with you. The section before that, because it's quite technical. It's a nice bit because, you know, this bit here, it's just generally, you know, throttle to the max and making sure you just make the corners. Depending on the cars, you can obviously make these at full speed. In some cars, you just have to lift off a little bit as Lorenzo is right in the slipstream now with Paul Hurlo. Looks to the left and thinks better of it. I can hear the DRS closing because he had the DRS open then. And as we come up to the next right-hander, and then there's a tight right-hander here. So again, it's he's caught up with under braking there, and then we've got I don't know if that was contact or Paul Hurlo.
No, Paul Hurlo just lost it on the pushing too hard when he was accelerating out of the corner, and he's.
I was going to say, as we approached the carousel, and he didn't let me finish because he lost the rear end. So, but he didn't lose too much time there, so he's still within a second.
Do you know what I love about that right-hander before the carousel? There is an older version of the Nordschleife, which I've run before, that goes straight on there. And it doesn't have any of these corners here, as Paul Hurlo's completely off, and he's upside down, and he's around again, and he's rolled, and he's end over end, and he's ended up on his roof, and pulled over to the side of the circuit. He's going to find his way back on now, but that was
that's quite a crash, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think if luckily it's only sim racing, and hopefully he's not on a motion rig, because that would have been one painful experience going along there.
So Tom Lombart's currently right behind Charles Baccio in 10th position, but Tom Lombart's got some extensive damage to his front splitter. But he's right behind.
Tom Lombards has already spun around. That's why I think he hit the wall during the opening lap.
Little three of them. You've got Joel Koosman in 9th, Charles Baccio in 10th, and Tom Lombards at 11th in close proximity to each other as Tom is really trying to apply some pressure to Baccio there in 10th position. It is orange Audi, bright orange Audi. I like the colour of that.
I'm not a huge fan of it, but he pushes very well, slightly wide. I'm more of a fan of the simple white. I think it's on the Mercedes that the simple white livery is, and actually it's a lot like Tom Lombart's livery, and that is in the Mercedes. That sort of livery is my favourite, just a simplistic style instead of almost trying too hard.
So, we could open up a whole topic of conversation on that right now, but I think we'll do that another time. Right, so as Tom Lombards in the 11th position is chasing down Charles Baccio.
And they're coming onto the straight, so Slipstream and DRS, but Baccio will have it as well, most likely from Koosman. But were they within a second over the line last time? That's the important thing. It doesn't look like Baccio's rear wing has dropped. Or has it? Yes, it has. No, yeah. Yes it has, and they're almost going to go three wide here, they're trying, Lombard's going to go to the left, Baccio trying his hardest to defend it, Joel Koosman on the right, they're three wide, Joel is now behind, Baccio is through, and Lombard is past both of them.
Unbelievable. I mean, Joel Koosman there's a sitting duck, he had no DRS, so he now needs to sit behind these two and reverse that round, but Joel Koosman and I were racing last night in the F1 2017 Ferrari, which was cool. That was hard work. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of driving that, but you've got the MGU recovery system, and you've changed the phase of the car. You know, what modern racing drivers have to do now is unbelievable. Unfortunately, I don't have enough buttons on my steering wheel to cope, so I need to get a new wheel. It turns out, with these new cars and all these new options, and as we start to see more hybrid cars, I guess in the likes of Race Room and Assetto Corsa, you know, racing, not only is it keeping it on the black stuff, it's then also monitoring the battery that you've got as part of your hybrid system. So making these races more and more complicated, and kudos to the F1 drivers, you know, huge respect. Obviously, they've got a lot more practice than I, but wow, that's hard work. Anyway, I digress.
There is a battle going on all the way down for P17. In fact, Dan Long is looking for the overtake. Can't quite make it past Ross Garland as he sensibly slips in behind. But he is really pushing hard. Lights flashing on the front of his machine there as they come on through. As they continue to battle in that P17, you've got the BMW leading two Audis, but that is Garland off, and Long is able to make it through around the outside. Through goes Ollie McGowan as well.
Yeah. And this is it. You know, luckily for Ross, he didn't stray too far there and hit the barrier. But we're seeing so many mistakes for drivers, and it's because this track is a very, very hard track to race around. Doesn't matter what car you're in, whether you're in a little 1 litre Fiesta. Or a DTM beast. You know, this is a taxing track for these drivers tonight.
It certainly is, and like I said earlier, it is like probably the hardest circuit in the world that it currently still has races taking place on it, because it is so long. Trying to remember all the corners is difficult. At the same time, you've got it's such a unique circuit in the sense of the way that it has so many blind corners. You've got crests. It's almost like, oh, put dirt onto it, put a rally car onto it, and it'll be one of the best rally stages that you have in Germany, I believe. And 45 minutes remain in this race, 15 minutes down, and that means pit window has now opened, but I'm sure we won't see drivers come down for another lap or two, and that's really strange to be saying, only 1 or 2 laps until drivers come down pit lane and the window's only just opened. But we are 15 minutes through. We are a quarter of the way through this race, and Baccio is still over the rear of Lombards in the battle for 9th. It looks like Joel Kuzmin has made a mistake. He's got it back round again, though, but he's down, all the way down in P number 13. He has previously been in the top 10. So, as usual, Joel not being as consistent as he could have been.
Surprise, surprise. But he was still in 11th, but and had dropped about 3 or 4 seconds behind the battle of Tom Lombards in 9th and Charles Baccio in 10th. But, you know, he's, like we said this before in a previous stream, you know, he is a fast driver. He knows he's a fast driver. He admits he gets a little bit hot-headed at times and needs just to kind of hone in that concentration. Again, you know, I was racing with him last night, and parts of the race he was behind me, which he shouldn't be, because he was 2 to 3 seconds quicker than me per lap. He eventually beat me, but you know, it's I was keeping on the black stuff as where he wasn't. So that was, you know, sometimes being able to be consistently and slow can pay off, but overall he's still quicker than me, as he's got Stephen Kenwood breathing down his neck right now. But, you know, we're not seeing very many overtakes, are we, Joseph? Because this track is so narrow. As Joel goes a little bit wide there, and Stephen Kenwood can't make the most of it. And as they approach the carousel, so let's see how they get around here. Nice and tidy from both drivers. But yeah, it's just a tight track, and I think it's one of those things. I think drivers are a little bit nervous, perhaps, to make those moves, which is what's causing these problems.
Oh no, definitely you're going to be nervous trying to make an overtake here. It's a very thin circuit. You can most of these parts on the circuit, you can probably get 2 cars side by side, and you wouldn't really want to go 3 side by side. I don't even think you could get 3 side by side if they were stopped and slowly edged in next to each other.
Paul Hurlow has looks like he got stuck on a curbing around a section of the track. I don't know where exactly he is.
Oh yes, I can see that. He has just been overtaken by Joel Kuzmin, Steve Kenwood and that lot. If he's in team speak though, which he will be, I'm sure he'll be asking one of the guys near the field, can you just give me a nudge when you come on through?
He's reversed. He's trying to get it. He's put it in reverse because I think it's... Oh no, he's now put it in full... Oh.
He is completely stuck on that curbing, something that... it was a killer in a GPC round last season at the Adelaide circuit, where one of our drivers got stuck on the curbing there as well, and unfortunately he had to retire from the race. But he's fallen down the order consistently here. Paul Hurlow down to 24th. I'm sure one of those drivers at the very rear will get him back up. Steve Legale is also around. He was doing fantastically well. Paul Hurlow almost off that curbing. He's almost reversed all the way back.
Oh, come on, Paul. Come on, Paul. We're praying for you, Paul. Oh,
I really don't think he is. He is going to have to get a nudge from someone, but it's... Oh, 1 minute.
He's off. No.
No, don't accelerate forwards again. You should have continued reversing. Yes, reverse. You're off. Yes, go on.
He's stuck against the barrier.
No, don't go forward again. Don't go forward again. No. Yes. Boom.
God, we're with you there, Paul. He's probably burnt so much fuel there, though.
Oh, probably. He's probably going to have to come down pit lane as well, because he's probably burnt up his tyres as that as well. He's near the end of the lap, though, so it's at least for him, he's only got probably another couple of minutes to go on the lap, and I'm sure he's going to come down pit lane.
That's sim racing for you. Look, look. See, we're cheering on. We're cheering on the guy that got stuck on a curb. I mean, this is what sim racing's all about. You wouldn't get that in real racing, would you? You know, I mean, this is why sim racing's so great.
There's a 4-car train right now going along Dockingham. We've got Ross Garland ahead of Kedera. Kedera's going to fly through. Here comes Borkstein as well. You've got Alvarez behind that. Garland is just a sitting duck. No, who is the sitting duck in that? Well, yeah, Garland. Okay, yeah, Garland, the ones at the back.
And then
okay.
Alves, Aki Borstein, and Toby Ketterer.
There you go. That's that chain of cars. There's so many chains all the way around because there's also a train for 14th, 15th, and 16th position. Yeah. I've just got auto director on now. There's so much stuff going on. I'm just letting the R3E spectator just do it for me because there's just so much going on. But not a single person has yet come down pit lane for the mandatory stop, which I am not surprised about. I expect them to come down as close to the halfway as they can.
We expect Paul Hurley to go down, don't we?
I definitely expect him to be coming down as soon as he gets around.
I'm on board with him now, so I'll just keep an eye on that and let you know, because he's just coming down the long straight.
I think Steve Legale's gone around again as well, because his has just disappeared for me. Or is he down pit lane? Oh, okay, so Steve Legale in pit lane, Ingemar Peterson in pit lane, and I'm not too sure why, but he's at a stop next to... Is that where his pit box is? Surely not.
Might well be. I don't know.
Actually, it's a very short pit lane for 36 cars. It very possibly could be. Where they have to do the doubles.
I've never raced in this track on racetrack, so I can't really comment. But nice the fact we've got some marshals hanging around. That's good. Right, so Paul Hurley, what's he doing? He's not pitted.
He's not. He stayed out.
He stayed out.
Right. How about Ingemar Peterson? Is he still at a stop in the same place? Oh, no, he's moving now.
He's moving.
So that was his pit box. Interesting. Yeah. Dan Long, though, all over the rear of Magnus Sternbury in the battle for 14th and 15th position. Very close. No, I don't know any corner names to this. I only know Dockenho. That's the only one. And the carousel. There you go.
I mean, there's too many to remember. So I'm not even going to...
Oh, do you know what? I've done a commentary with someone before along this circuit, and they knew every single corner name. And I was thinking, how do you know it? You must be truly obsessed. Oh, that's a big wobble from Sternbury. Up the inside goes Long. There's contact. Sternbury heavily into the wall. Long is going to remain ahead. Ollie McGowan now going to try and get involved in that battle, but... That was a wobble from Sternbury. Long was on the inside. I think that was just 2 in a 1 don't go. They were both going for the same part of track.
Yeah, I think you're right. Well, I think, you know, the fact that, because the thing is that Dan Long would have seen that he made that little bit of mistake, and I think maybe Magnus Sternbury should have been thinking, hold on, I've just given him opportunity there. He's going to come on the inside, but yeah, it's a tough one. I'd probably put it down to a racing incident. As I'm on board with Charles Bacchio, who's right over the rear of Lorenzo Bodner in 8th position at the moment.
Two drivers are very used to racing each other in a variety of leagues, and also inter-team as well. They've shared a car before. In endurance racing, and big wobble from Bonda there as they come up towards the carousel, and Baccio looks to the inside. Is he going to steal it as my auto camera cuts me away? He is going to steal the inside of the carousel.
But behind that though, now you've got Tom Lombards getting involved as well. He's right over the back now of Bodner as well. So because Bodner went wide on that corner, it's allowed Tom Lombards to get involved here.
Andrew Harper is out of this race almost halfway through it, which is a real shame for him. And that is our first retirement of the race. Of course, we had a disconnect earlier on, some sort of issue. So that's 2 drivers who have not made it to the halfway point. But that is actually quite surprising for the circuit it is, and the fact that we did have that 7 or 8 cars involved in that incident on the opening lap.
Yeah, so Pietrek Blasak has said that he had some internet problems tonight, which is why he's out of the race.
Okay, so that says the disconnect we had earlier on, and then Harper alongside it with the whatever caused his retirement. I believe it was probably just incident after incident, and Lombards into the wall, big hit. He's back on, but he's only lost about 3 seconds, which isn't too bad for the circuit we're at. To only lose a couple of seconds. He is about 4 seconds back now, but he can surely get back involved in this fight come pit stops. Bonda.
And he's off again.
No.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a scrape down the right, but I think what he's trying to get the other corner of the car. Oh, he's off again. He looks like he's struck because he has got a bit of damage there to the front splitter, which I would imagine is affecting his downforce, which is why he's going off the track a few times, a few expeditions for Tom Lombards there in a very short amount of time. So
I'm going to assume most drivers are going to be diving down pit lane either this lap or next lap, depending on where they are right now, because we are coming up towards that halfway point, and therefore, for drivers such as Lechner, he's only just started a new lap. He'll come into the pits probably at the end of the lap he's currently on.
Paul Fenwick's just gone wide as he's got Jim Nobbs behind him, but Paul Fenwick in 23rd position has managed to not have too much of an escape of track. And then we've got Michael Kling coming in 29th position all the way back there. He's the last runner at the moment, avoiding the carousel. A couple of drivers are doing that at the moment.
I do that actually when I race the Nordschleife. I like to run off the carousel because, fine, it slows you down, but you don't risk being chucked out of it and losing even more time. I think that's why he does it, and that's why I do it too.
Joel Kuzmin in 13th position is now within half a second of Roy Magnus in 12th, and I think they're down the back straight.
They are indeed.
Yeah.
Slipstream DRS for Kuzmin, and this should be a really easy overtake past Magnussen. Moves to the left-hand side, and that is the position gained for him. And Roy Magnus can't do anything to fight back just yet, but he might be able to do something into the braking points up towards the end of the lap. And will they decide to come down pit lane? I don't think they will just yet. Most likely next lap, but here they come through the final selection of corners. If they're going down pit lane, that's where they turn off, but they stay out. And through the final turn, very close to that inside Armco barrier, but across the timing line they go once more onto another lap in 12th and 13th position. Magnus will now have the DRS, but will he be able to keep close enough to Kuzmin to use it at the end of next lap? We shall see.
We shall indeed. Like I say, Kuzmin is a fast driver. Not trying to put Roy Magnus down, but I think he not as quick as Kuzmin. As you've got Tariq Gamil in 16th position, is catching up, starting with Magnus Steinby in 15th. Though Tariq Gamil, one of our staff members who only joined in as the last thing tonight as another driver dropped out. So,
actually, first of all, I must quickly add on, Roy Magnus is all over the rear of Joel Kuzmin still for 12th, but I must say, this is the best position Roy Magnus has been running in all season. I believe he's finished outside the top 20 every single round so far this season, so he is doing a fantastically phenomenal job right now in P13, and I think he's just, even if he can't get the position back past Joel Kuzmin, he's doing a fantastic job for where he is, and I'm sure he'll be trying his hardest just to hold on to what he's got, because he's doing absolutely fantastic right now in that machine. As looking at Ross Garland, he's just come out of pit lane. We have a number of other drivers down pit lane as well as that.
Jim looks a bit of a carnage, doesn't it, down there?
Yeah.
You get Jim Nobbs, Mike McGear and Paul Fenwick in there currently.
Yes, Fenwick has now moved out of the way. It's got that little green bell on the left-hand side to show that he has completed his mandatory stop. As of most of our drivers, here comes Jim Nobbs out of the way, out of the pits as well.
None of the top 19 have pitted yet, have they? So the highest driver is Long in 20th. So interesting stuff. So if we look at the top drivers at the moment, you've got Fernand Lechner in first, Ismail Kubu just around 23 seconds behind him in second, then 10 seconds up the road we've got Tobias Rona in third.
Well, we must add quickly, those top three are probably going to be the order that the championship finishes as well. Yeah. So that's actually quite interesting to see. It is a shame that Severo Genghis obviously couldn't attend this final race. Bearing in mind he is 1 point ahead of Rona heading into this final round, but it means that Rona is going to get that third.
Giving up the voucher, that must have hurt.
Oh, definitely indeed, and not only would it have hurt getting a podium in the 2018 Race Department Touring Car Championship, it's also lost him out that chance of winning $25 of an Amazon gift card, which the third position driver in the season receives.
If you were in the league and finished where Fernand Lechner looked like he's going to finish, what would you spend the 100 Amazon voucher on? What would you do? What would you buy yourself as a little treat? Would it be a sim racing accessory?
Oh, it definitely would. It definitely would. If I was in a sim racing league that's just given me $100 to spend on Amazon, it would definitely be something to upgrade my rig in some way or another, or upgrade something to do with sim racing. Maybe buy myself a new set of racing gloves or something.
Oh yeah.
That I might want to use, or maybe some new racing boots. if some people I know that are into using boots to race. I personally don't myself. I hardly even ever wear socks, so you know.
I race in Toms. I wear Toms because they're kind of like nice little slip-ons.
Well, I like not wearing any socks or anything like that because I can then feel the pedal. I can feel exactly what's going on.
Yeah. So it's all down to personal preference.
Exactly.
Charles Bacchio in 9th position again I think that they had developed a bit of a gap, but he's caught him back up now. He's caught Tom Lombards in 8th up as we're coming through one of my another favourite sections of the tracks for me actually here, because it's got like some little short straights intercept with some lovely corners. You know, I do prefer the back section of the track because it's not all just straights. I prefer this section for me. What about you?
Oh no, definitely. I prefer that back section of the circuit because it isn't straight, like you say.
They do get some air with that bit, don't they? There, that's unbelievable.
Oh, these cars, yeah. I mean, you can get air in almost any machine that you take around here. I've got air in a cart before taking it around here, and they have hardly any top speed.
Charles Bacchio getting very, very close to the back of Tom Lombards there. But,
yes.
You know, like,
Ferdinand Lechner in pit lane.
Okay, what does Ismail Yakubu do? Does he follow or does he carry on?
Most likely, because if he's going to stay out an additional lap, he's going to go almost 40 minutes. Exactly.
He's in the pits.
There you go. He would have had to go 40 minutes otherwise on a single set of tyres on the Nordschleife, which is almost suicide.
Coming up to the pits as well, and he's in as well.
Yeah, like I said last lap, you were going to have drivers come in last lap or this lap. We had about 10 drivers come in last lap, and it seems like we're going to have the rest of the field this lap then.
So Charles Bacchio down the final big straight with DRS open. He doesn't look as close as he was, but the DRS is taking into effect. I would imagine these guys are also going to dive down into pit lane, but I think Charles Bacchio will make the move as he looks, as he's going on the right hand side, so Tom Lombards has moved over the left, but he hasn't left him a lot of room, so he's come off the throttle. Okay.
Well, what's going to happen here under the braking? Could it pressure Lombards into a mistake? No, they both go through, and it looks like they're going to both dive down pit lane. Yes, they do indeed. A very tight pit lane. Yeah, it's a very tight pit entrance there.
A couple of drivers really clipped it from what I've seen, so this is a weird pit layout. Okay, so let's see how these pit crews do, because this will be quite interesting. As Tom Lombards is on the move, and oh, come on Charles, what's going on? Charles Bacchio is off as well. Right, so tell you what, those pits there of Tom Lombards has got a bit of a gap now.
Yeah, it's over 7 seconds between them now. That's a big gap.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a different strategy or fuel refueling or what would cause such a big gap there.
It may be fueling. It may be that. Or it could actually be that Lombards has decided to put in a heavier fuel load at the start. He's had to fill up less, and Bacchio's now had to fill up more. Or maybe that you only have to take 2 tyres technically. Maybe Lombards has decided to only take 2 if the other 2 aren't worn down.
In the pits, Joel Coons has just pitted.
Yep, he's just coming out of the pit exit now.
Stephen Kenwood is also in the pits currently.
Roy Magnus has just come out of the pits as well.
Yeah. Magnus Schoenby, he's in there. Toby Ketterer, Aki Borgstein, Don Patterson. So all the drivers now are making...
Steve Legale flies by up into P number 23 past Ross Garland there along the main straight. My auto camera decides I don't want to watch that battle, and we're going to go have a little look at Steve Kenwood. Why not?
So Tariq Gamil, currently 11th, hasn't pitted yet, but I would imagine that when he comes and completes this lap, he'll dive in. And we've got in 22nd, Paul Hurlow is now entering the pits to do his mandatory pit stop. Michael Klein in 27th. Whereabouts is he?
Tariq Gamil? Has he he's come down pit lane, has he not?
No. Red. No, I just said no. No, he hasn't. So
no, but I thought he did come down pit lane, even if it hasn't counted. I thought he did.
No, I don't think he did. No.
Well, I don't know, but he's up to 11th anyway, and that's the fact that he hasn't. Then that's quite adventurous.
Yeah, Tariq.
Well, one thing is he's definitely going to have to pit next lap because the pit window's going to close otherwise, and he's going to get penalised for it. But Ross Garland goes straight on, almost into the back of Steve Legale, but he remains on the track for now.
I know Tariq Jamil because I race with him quite regularly, and he likes to do a strategy that everyone else doesn't. So it doesn't surprise me that he's doing something different. So whether it'll pay off or not, who knows? But he is a very good driver. As his car goes a little bit of a wobble as he comes through this chicane section. But yeah, he's good with tyres. He's good with his wear, and he seems to be able to get the best out of the car, even if he hasn't got a lot of tyre left. So yeah, and he's had a pretty uneventful race, I think, so far. I haven't seen. I mean, I think he might have had an incident at some point, but nothing major. The car looks pretty intact, so we've still got about half a lap to go. So this will be really interesting. What do you make the pit window? When's the pit window closing? I can't see
the pit window will probably be closing. If it opened 15 minutes in, I believe it will close in about 10 minutes time, which means that he's going to have to come in this lap to make sure that he definitely makes the pit window in time. He is the last driver out on track to do his mandatory stop, because Klein has now visited pit lane and has completed his stop. He's about 3 seconds behind Mike McGear. He sits in 29th and at the rear of your field right now. There are a couple of battles going on, including between Ross Garland and Paul Hurlow for 23rd and 24th, but this three-car train of Joel Koosman, Roy Magnus and Dan Long going on 13th, 14th and 15th. That should turn into a battle for 12th, 13th and 14th once Camille has visited pit lane. But Roy Magnus doing still, once again, absolutely fantastic job right now.
Yeah, credit to him. I wrote him off. Take it back. I thought Joel would have walked away from him by now, but yeah, credit where credit's due. Roy Magnus is sticking to the back of him like glue. But Stephen Kenwood in 16th, he's not far off this little batch either.
No, he's only 3 seconds down the road, so he could really get involved in this fight. Definitely if they make a little mistake or slow each other down in some way, he could definitely get involved with it.
As Dan Long makes the look on the inside,
and he's done it.
Magnus, and he's done it, and he takes that position, so he takes 14th away from Roy Magnus. That's
really good overtake.
That was a really good overtake. And also, the thing is, because he's got Joel in front of him, he won't be susceptible to Roy Magnus behind, because he'll have DRS as they go down the back straight. So, but Roy has dropped off a little bit there. He's now 1.5 seconds, which is then means that Stephen Kenwood is now only 1.5 seconds behind Roy Magnus. So, we've got some battling going on.
Definitely Dan Long looking to get past Joel Koosman here. It looks like Ross Garland's going around, and Dan Long has spun. He's caught the curbing just a little bit too much, and around goes Dan Long. He finds himself back going straight around, but that promotes Roy Magnus back into P number 14. 3 seconds behind Joel Koosman, but Steve Kenwood is now all over the rear in that fight as well.
Indeed, and luckily Dan Long spun. It wasn't in the middle of the track, so these other two drivers avoided him, which is very fortunate for all parties concerned.
It almost looked like a graceful spin, the way he just caught the curbing just playing around. Looked like he'd been rehearsing it for years, and he'd finally got the chance to show it off.
Just going to interrupt you there. Tom Lombart's down the start-finish straight, right on the back of Matt Nagale in 7th position. DRS is open. He goes over to the right-hand side. It's got to be an easy pass here, surely, as they're both on the limiter. But he doesn't.
No, it doesn't look like he has.
No.
He is on the limiter, and it looks like McGalley has slight better top speed, and there's nothing Lombards can do right there.
Which seemed very similar to the battle we saw a few laps ago before they went to the pits. Who was it? It was
Lombards and Baccio. So it was Baccio behind Lombards on that one.
Yeah, very similar. So could be down to gearing, could be down to maybe a little bit, I don't know, front wing they could potentially run in.
Steve Kenwood is about half a second behind Roy Magnus as they come up towards Dottenham, so that could probably be an overtake between the two of them along there. But I'm back watching this battle between Lombards and Legale for now, because it is only 0.3 of a second between them as they head on towards the brakes. But here you go, Dan Long is going to fly past Steve Kenwood, not what I was actually expecting, and now Kenwood slips into
Roy Magnus as well, potentially there.
Definitely, it looks like he's got really good speed there, but I don't think he's going to be able to close enough just up enough. Oh, yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
What? I thought they were closer to the turn there, but no, Dan Long is going to fly by into P14. Magnus down to 15th, and under attack from Steve Kenwood.
Yeah.
No overtake there, though.
Yeah, no, I don't think Steve Kenwood has DRS. So yeah,
right.
Still caught up with Roy Magnus, even so.
May I ask where Camille is right now on circuit? Is he going for another lap?
Yeah.
He has definitely got to come down pit lane this time. He actually is really risking not completing the mandatory stop.
Yeah, this is interesting. What are you doing, Tariq? Camille, what are you doing?
Could it be that he is obviously this is his first round in the championship, this final round, and he might not realise that the pit window closes so soon, or in fact that there is a pit window.
I'd be surprised if he didn't know. But yeah, maybe somebody should make like a YouTube video that all drivers have to watch before they go race, just to make sure everybody's
Steve Kenwood looking to make the move past Roy Magnus though, right over the rear, really putting the pressure on, and I don't think Magnus is falling for it. He's allowing these drivers to, if they go for the overtake, he's not overly defending, purely because he wants this position that he's got, and it doesn't matter if he loses 1 or 2 positions in the long run, because it's better than losing about 10 positions. And on the inside for lies down of Steve Kenwood, as my auto camera decides to change once again at the last moment. Yes,
I'm on manual, but yeah, I mean, you know, credits to Roy Magnus there. He did move over, so
yeah,
you know, he because it takes both parts. You know.
Oh, Matt Legale's around and stuck.
Oh, not another one.
Oh, 1 minute, no, 1 minute.
Yeah, no. Oh, oh.
He is. He's caught in a very weird, dangerous angle.
Lorenzo, who's the next car coming up to him, was just off the track as well. So I'm just watching him to see if he's gonna hit.
Yep, I'm running on board with Lorenzo. It's this left-hander. Oh, and he's gonna hit Matt Legale. Luckily, it's knocked Matt Legale back on again. Maybe there was some sort of communication.
Yeah,
because he didn't even try to avoid Matt.
Yeah, no, true. Yeah, that was good.
Actually, yeah, with 15 seconds down to Tariq Gamil behind, that is a nice move to make to knock Matt Legale back onto the circuit again.
Yeah, Tariq Gamil is slowing down.
He's out of fuel, or going to be out of fuel, possibly.
Okay, Tariq Gamil, what happened there? Because, I don't know, hold on. Listening. I'm on board. Right, maybe he just went wide.
Maybe.
Full throttle down. Is he going to make the pits? He's got, what, 3 minutes?
3 minutes to make it. And he's about halfway through the lap, so it's going to be very close. I don't think he's going to make it in time, as Magnus Sternbury is caught in the same curb that Matt Legale was.
Oh yeah.
He was just... Well, Manuel Alvarez just avoided him.
Okay, so Aki Borkstein's the next car, so let's see what happens. Oh, he avoids him. Right. Steve Legale, next one.
That's really weird how cars are getting stuck there, though. It looks like it is just the rear end of the car just getting... Oh, he's out! Sternbury gives up, trying to get off the curb.
Oh, a second retirement for today. That's Andrew Harper and Magnus Sternbury have both retired. Matt Legale in 10th position, right over the backside of Lorenzo Bonda in 9th currently. I think that's one of the closest battles, but we've also got Stephen Kenwood. So again, we got like Roy Magnus is now nearly 6 seconds behind Dan Long in 14th. Which kind of, that pace he had earlier on has kind of disappeared as he's got Stephen Kenwood breathing down his neck. That's a real shame, but like you say, that's one of his better races so far, isn't it, for him? So you know, most improved driver this round.
I think most improved driver this entire season, I would have to say. But looking at it, 1.5 minutes left on the clock until pit window closes.
Keep an eye to reach.
Yeah, Gamil's, I don't think he's going to make it. I really, because I think that you have to complete your pit stop in that time as well, not just get to pit lane.
Right, okay.
So, and he's only got a minute. It takes longer than a minute to even get to pit lane from here.
Interesting.
So he's not going to make it in time.
Maybe he thinks he pitted. Maybe you're right, but I don't remember him going down.
I don't either. I don't remember he even coming down pit lane, and I think he was trying to risk it in doing as far as he possibly can, not judging it correctly. And with that mistake I believe he had earlier, like you said, he slowed down quite a bit. That could have what has cost him. And what is the penalty for not completing a mandatory stop? Is that going to be a disqualification?
I have no idea. We should really know. Whether we should get clued up on the rules a bit more. I've just, maybe.
Do you know what? I think that's a thing that we might have to do in the future, is find out more about what the rules actually entail.
We want to be professional commentators. We've got to up our game. Yeah. So if anybody else knows, do let Joseph know in the chat. That'd be good.
I don't have the chat open. My chat crashed.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, send us a tweet. Send us an email. Send us a post. Put a post on the forums. Anything.
Just let us know somehow what sort of penalty, because that's it. The pit window's closed and he has not completed the mandatory stop. But surely he's still going to have to come down pit lane. Surely he can't go all the way to the end without a stop. Or is that what he's now just going to try and do?
I don't know.
I'm going to continue watching him, see if he comes down pit lane this time.
I'm very, very confused. As Joel Kuzman has been overtaken by Dan Long up ahead on the straight, and Joel is still behind Dan Long currently as they come into the final section, into the braking zones.
Okay, Tariq Emil is now down pit lane.
A bit late.
Maybe it's a drive-through if you don't complete it.
Oh.
Or stop and go or something.
Well, he's pitted. I have no idea what race room does when you don't hit on a manager's pit stop.
I've never come across a race where someone hasn't done their mandatory stop before and remained in the race.
Okay, well, stopping again. He stopped, started, and stopped.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe he stopped before his box and didn't realise, and now he's had to move forward to get actually into his box.
I don't know. He doesn't seem like the kind of man who would get something wrong, but he's now in 19th
well,
position.
I've never seen Tariq actually race on race room before. I've only ever seen him on a Assetto Corsa, so this may be him learning. Maybe,
yeah, because each game is slightly different, let's be honest.
Yeah. Okay, the car's just dropped. 1 minute. Yeah, the car's just dropped down, and there you go. So that definitely was a pit stop.
It's too late, wasn't it? The window. Don't make me laugh, it hurts, because went into the gym yesterday, did some core exercises. Oh god, that hurt. Right, Tariq Emil now is now in 20th position and hasn't done his mandatory pit stop, so we'll see what. I'm trying to Google to see what happens, so let me have a look.
Right, Joe Kuzman about half a second behind Dan along here. But yeah, that's a real shame, because Tariq Emil, who's in 11th, he hasn't done the mandatory stop before the end of the pit window. And I'm not too sure what's going to happen with regard... Do you know what, actually? 1 minute. I don't know why, but my timing still says Magnus Sternberg is racing, but he's not. Okay. Very strange.
He retired, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, but for some reason my timing's saying he's still racing. Anyway, well, we've only got 12 more minutes left in this race. That's what, going to be this lap, next lap, and one more? Because the timer's going to run out on the lap after that. So you've got about 2.5 more laps to go now. Ferdinand Lechner leads Yakubu by a whole minute.
Wow. Wow. Anders Meyer's only 14 seconds behind Ismail Yakubu.
And actually, that's another important fact, is Meyer is the one in 3rd and Rona is the one in 4th. So it doesn't look like Rona's going to get the podium, even though he is still going to get 3rd in the championship.
Yeah, because he's currently 14 seconds behind Anders Meyer. I wonder what happened there to cause that. We completely missed that one, didn't we?
But it could have been just a bad pit stop. It may not have been a mistake or anything.
Yeah. True. As Lorenzo Bodnar, he's been a very busy man this race. Currently in 10th position behind Matt Legale, who's in 9th. So as they're coming up to they're on the start. They're on that kind of far section around the back of the track. Sorry, trying to get my words out. And they're going to approach that sharp right-hander and then the first carousel. So. He doesn't make a move, but Matt Legale goes wide there, which allows...
and Lorenzo's gone around, able to hold it, but he's really, I think, just maybe distracted from Matt Legale sliding in front of him.
maybe, as they both go using the carousel as well. Other drivers are opting not to. But I mean, he's only 1.5 seconds behind. I think he'll get that time back over the. Where is the? How does it work around here? Where have you got to be within 1 second of the driver to get DRS? You know where the point
timing
is?
line, front line.
Timing line, right?
Yeah, the start-finish line will be then, because it's the same as everywhere. It's that's the way that it's run with regards to DRS on. I believe that's just regards to DRS on race room. Right.
Okay. So Lorenzo there, Bondo in 10th position, took a little bit of a curve, went wide at one of the corners, but he just got to keep it a little. He keeps it a little bit clean. It looks a little bit ragged right now. If he just keeps it a little, he's gone wide there as well.
Oh, big hit with the wall.
Yeah, that was coming. He's been looking very, very ragged. I mean, Ollie McGowan's 11. Well, now in 9 seconds up the road, 8 seconds up the road ish. So, and he's obviously, and Lorenzo Bondo now is 10 seconds, nearly 9 seconds up the road from Matt Nagale. But Ollie McGowan's just gone through the smoke that Lorenzo Bondo had created from that spin. So, yeah, I was just saying, he just looks a bit like he's on the ragged edge a little bit too much, and could see that coming. So, no surprise to me that he span there. But no real close gaps at the moment. I mean, closest potentially might be Manuel Alves behind Toby Kelleher and 17th and 18th.
Yeah, you got about, 1.5 seconds between the two of them at the moment, and that definitely is the closest. But I'd have to admit that I'm surprised there's been as many battles as there have on a circuit like this for 50 minutes of racing. And the fact that we're now into the final 10 minutes, we're coming up towards the final lap or two, and I think the fact that we have had the battles as long as we had is absolutely really just showing how good our drivers are and how closely matched a number of our drivers are up and down the field. And
does it make you want to race in it, or are you just quite happy just doing the commentary? Does it, with the racing that's been here tonight and the challenging circumstances for these drivers?
First of all, I must add that Charles Baccio is back down pit lane for a second time, but will remain in P number 8. Anyway, but no, do you know what? I'm just glad to be in the commentary box. If I was down there on the circuit myself, instead of winning a $100 Amazon gift card, I'm sure I would be having to pay a number of fines for how bad I drive.
John Patterson in 16th position. Hasn't got the DRS open, but he's right behind Stephen Kenwood and using the slipstream very, very well. He's got a lot more. He's going to make the move. He's going on the left-hand side. To the left he goes, and he's passed. Look at that. Yeah, easy. Like stealing candy from a baby, that was.
Oh yeah, nice and easily done. There was absolutely nothing you can do when you're the guy in front there with no DRS, no slipstream, because no DRS for Patterson. He was obviously more than a second behind going on to the this snap as he's off, and a big hit with the wall.
Point. Yeah, missed the breaking point there. Yeah.
Paying too much attention to his mirrors, most likely, going along there after making the overtake.
Something that I would do, to be honest with you. As he rear end comes out a little bit there as he gets going again. But still a solid race for John Patterson, 16th position tonight.
Do you know,
where's our mate Roy? He's still in 14th. He's going very well tonight, Roy.
Do you know what? I am going to say, though, that this circuit is definitely thrown up, and it's something that we knew was going to happen. It's thrown.
You've gone very quiet, Joseph. I don't know what's happened there, whether that's me or you, but I can hardly hear you. I don't know if that's a general commentary issue. You were talking, then you just... Yeah, I can hardly hear you. Yeah, I've lost you.
Right, okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, yes. Yeah,
right, there you go. I accidentally clicked something on one of my mixing boards that I've just tried to fix. Okay, there you go.
Okay, right, brilliant. There you go, you're back. So, Aki Borgstein in 19th position is catch up with Annual Malves. He's actually got past him at some point there. So, it looks like it might have been a mistake from Alves, potentially. But Alves is within a second of sorry, it's happened to Ollie McGowan. Ollie McGowan is round. There we go. and he spins it back round into the barrier, and away he goes. Next car behind him is Roy Magnus in 14th position.
Do you know what I was saying though? It's really nice to see that some of the drivers, we knew that there was going to be drivers who aren't normally near the front of your field being in those positions, because this is such a circuit. It's not about who's the fastest, it's about who can keep it together. And Ollie McGowan, we've seen him be near in a top 6 position before in the past, but he's lost it all the way out. He's again doing really nicely to be at the top half of the just outside of the top 10, and then Roy Magnus, of course, being absolute fantastic showing right now in P number 14, and going to be, I believe, his best result of the season, and I think it's his first result inside the top 20 all season. So he had his best qualifying result, and now he's going to get the best race result, and it's absolutely fantastic to see in such a difficult circuit, and it really got to boost your confidence with the new season coming up very quickly, in fact, and that'll be announced obviously later on this week, so keep your eyes out on the forums, and also be sure to follow the Twitter page, because I'm sure that Paul will be tweeting along once that gets announced. But with the season coming along so quickly, to have such a good final race has really got to put you in high hopes and high spirits for the next season.
Indeed, I'm just thinking a driver that we've not seen anything from is Davy van der Veen. I mean, have you said his name tonight?
Oh, Tobias Rona is around in the wall.
Ooh.
Hey, okay, he's only down to 5th though. He's back going again.
That allows Davy van der Veen, who I was just talking about.
Yeah, he's catching up.
Yeah, so he's 7 seconds, but 4.5 minutes of race time.
And this is the first time we've looked at Davy.
Yeah, I know. Because I think he's had a very uneventful race. He stayed out of trouble that I can remember.
Yeah, I've not picked him up in an instant at all. No. This race has been very consistent and remaining in that 6th position. And and obviously he only picked up into the season, I think at round number 3 it was. He's replaced Bram Hengeveld. And I actually haven't been too overly impressed by his performance so far this season, not to really detriment his driving, but really going into this final round, he is just showing the skill that I was expecting a lot earlier on, and he's being in that position where I was expecting him to be, because in the GT season last time out here at Race Room, he was always near the top of your field, and he just hasn't been showing that running these DTMs, but now it seems he's back in his move.
Koosman, sorry, he's round. Johnny, I wonder what was happening here, because Ollie McGowan had got very close to so he's back on their way, but he's got Roy Magnus now in 14th.
Oh, and last time Roy Magnus and Joel Koosman together like this, they stuck together for quite some time, and hopefully Magnus will be able to follow Koosman around and without anyone anywhere near them. In fact, 10 seconds either side of this battle. I feel like that's going to allow Magnus to keep his focus on Koosman and might be able to go for an overtake, definitely, as they're going to be coming up to that long straight of Dochenderhoe very shortly. No DRS going to be available for Magnus, but he is going to get that slipstream. As wide goes Koosman. In fact, that looks like it's going to be Magnus looking for a move already, but the smart thing to do would just be remain behind just now until that long straight. As 3 minutes to go in this time, Lexner is on the final lap of the race.
Yeah, so Roy Magnus 14th, right, as you just said, stuck with Joel Koosman for a few laps before. We've also got Steve Legale, who's in 22nd position, who's currently behind Tariq Gamil. There's a change of something that's just happened there on my screen, but Tariq Gamil, as we understand it, didn't make a mandatory pit stop, so we don't really know what the penalty is going to be for the young Irishman. But yeah, Steve Legale may have DRS when we come around next time. Maybe not, but yeah,
well, Charles Baccio is in the pit stop again. That's his 3rd stop this race. And away he goes, and it looks like it is going to be Matt Legale to go through and gain the position. So he goes along the pit lane, and out comes Charles Baccio. But that is a second time in 2 laps.
As well, is now just coming past the pit, so he's not far behind Charles Baccio in 10th position. So
back towards this battle for 13th and 14th quickly though. Magnus over the rear of Koosman. Doesn't go for the overtake. Now he goes to look side by side. Will he be able to make it? They go side by side. Through they go. And he's fixed it on the left-hand side onto the braking. Koosman able to hold it through. That was really good driving from both of them there.
Yeah, I thought Roy Magnus did the right thing there. He put his car slightly off the track, because you can see that Joel wanted the apex and he read that and he pushed his. And there was actually tarmac at that corner, allowed him to run wide without causing him too much trouble. So great driving for both there.
Indeed it was. As back towards that battle between Legale and Baccio. Why has Baccio come down pit lane 3 times this race? Why has he come down twice in the last 2 laps? I'm not too sure. Is that possibly some sort of penalty? Maybe, but stop and go penalties?
We don't get told, do we? That's the thing. We don't get told. That's one of the things that could be improved about a lot of sim racing games out there. Is that it would be nice to have us a bit more information, like a. You know, this is what's happening. This driver's been penalised.
Oh, almost like a race control. Like we've got the spectator. We need a race control thing for the same
thing. But just like to point out, I don't know if you spotted, but Steve Legale got past Tariq Gamil for 21st position.
Yes,
at some point.
Has. Also, just quickly point out, 10 seconds left to go on the race. Ferdinand Lechner is coming up towards the final final minute and a half of the lap. It is the final lap of the race, the final lap of the season. Ferdinand Lechner is continuing on his way. He's over 1 minute and 14 seconds ahead of second position. He has won every single league race on Race Department in 2018 in both the GPC and also here on the RDTCC, and that means he is going to take max points away in this championship, as well as a $100 Amazon gift card. Absolutely fantastic. He is an alien compared to some of the drivers who I've raced against, such as Yakubu, Mook I've had on my team before. He's an absolutely fantastic driver. Compared to all of these aliens that really I have in my club events, Lechner is just another level completely, and this is showing it. He's going to come up to the final straight for the final time. Only a few more corners left to go, and then Lechner is going to be officially crowned 2018 Race Department Touring Car Champion with full points to his name. What a season it's been for him.
Once he crosses the line, and an amazing season it has been for him. Charles Baccio is hunting down Matt Legale in 8th. So once Ferdinand Lechner has crossed that start-finish line, it'd be good to kind of focus on those two.
We've also got Joel Kuzmin and Roy Magnus as well.
Yeah, but I've noticed that Anders Meyer has been catching Ismail Yakubu very, very slowly. Not enough to catch up the next 10 seconds, but it was 15 seconds.
Yeah, it was.
That time around. So,
but here comes Lechner though. Through the final turn, he's going to cross the line, and there is your 2018 champion. He's going to do a drift across the line. Really happy with that result, I bet, as that is going to be 6 out of 6 victories once again in a league. And again, 2018 has not seen any other victor in a league event.
He's cast that. No, he is moving again. Yeah. I can't see him through the trees and the TV camera, but yeah. So Charles Baccio goes to make a move on Matt Legale.
Oh, it's very close indeed. Less than 0.2 of a second into that corner. It's opened up a little bit now as they continue to fight along through. And as Matt Legale goes off the wall. He's on the wall and he's back on circuit. And now Charles Baccio up into P number 8.
Ismail Yakubu coming down the final start long straight. So and so is Anders Meyer, who's 8 seconds up the road. So these guys are not long away from it. Jeremy Mook is currently in 4th position. And Tobias Rona's in 5th. So
that's still going to be 3rd in the championship nonetheless for him, as here comes Yakubu though to take 2nd in the race, 2nd in the championship, and $50 Amazon gift card will be awarded to him. Very well done indeed. But here comes 3rd position of Anders Meyer. He is extremely happy with that podium at the final round of the season, but we've still got another 20 seconds until Jeremy Mook is going to cross that line in P number 4.
Legale is trying to hunt down Charles Baccio again after making that previous mistake not long ago to give up that position. But he was within a second, but it's just dropped off a little bit. He might have made a slight mistake. But yeah, and Roy Magnus is still sticking with Joel Kuzmin there in 14th.
Oh, Charles Baccio off the road, and Matt Legale's through. And that is going to be the position for sure, because it is now 3 seconds between the two of them. There's not going to be any slipstream for Charles Baccio to use.
But Dan Long is also behind the back of Lorenzo Bondo on this line. Oh, they made contact. Are they touched?
I think that's the end of the race. The timer has come to a close, which has given Lechner the win, Yakubu second, and then there is the rest of your field, because it didn't let them finish the lap because of how long it was. It's been 2 minutes. Sorry, it's been a minute since Lechner crossed the line. So they are your official race results, and 3 retirements of Blasicek, Sternbury and Harper. But it's a shame for some of those drivers who were looking for the positions and didn't get the rest of the lap to do it.
Shame.
But
yeah, it's a shame because Dan Long and Lorenzo Bonner were battling out there and making contact as the game then finished the race. So that's a real shame, that.
It is a real shame indeed, but what a season it has been then, and probably one of the best seasons I've ever seen on in touring cars in the RDTCC, and well, this is the first RDTCC that I've had the pleasure to commentate, and it's been an absolutely fantastic one at that, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Of course, it's going to be coming up very shortly, as are a number of leagues that are currently in the pipeline, so a lot to look forward to.
There is a lot to look forward to on Race Department over the next sort of few months. Lots of letters to be, I's to be dotted and so forth, aren't there, and T's to be crossed before we can announce anything further. But yeah, lots going on. So keep your eyes and ears peeled.
One thing that I'm looking forward to that has been announced, of course, is the Nations Grand Prix that is going to be re-brought to the site that was last run. I believe it was in 2010. It started in 2008, and it was an absolutely fantastic series. Now going to be brought back across on Assetto Corsa, where drivers can compete for their nations. And I think we know exactly who's going to be racing for Germany. I don't think really that's a debate, but I think it's going to be an absolutely fantastic league. And I think all the leagues that are coming up. We've got the touring cars coming up, of course. We've got a number of others that are obviously we aren't allowed to announce yet, but they are being discussed. And I think this is going to be an absolutely fantastic year for sim racing here at RaceDepartment and sim racing in general. Lots going on, and I'm glad that I've got you to join me this year, Paul.
Oh well, thank you very much, Joseph. Yeah, I've enjoyed my first commentary position, commentating on this league. So yeah, it's been great fun, as you say. I think I joined you. What, race number was it 2 or 3? I joined you. Was it 2?
I think it was 2. I think
it was 2. Yeah. So still new to plying this trade. So thank you for everybody that's joined us over the last few races. I hope you enjoy the action as much as we have. And sometimes there's just been too much action to cover it all. But yeah, it would be nice if some of these games did let us know why people were pitching. Sometimes it'd be nice to be able to talk to the drivers a bit like the pit crews can in F1. Like team radio would be nice.
Oh, I've done that before. That pisses them off.
No, I can imagine. Yes. But yeah, no, it's been a fantastic series, and congratulations to the top 3, especially Ferdinand Lechner, who I think has been a cut above the rest of the pack. And if you feel like you are able to challenge the likes of Ferdinand, then keep your eyes peeled for the announcements coming up and put your name forward to take part.
Indeed. So that has been a fantastic season. 6 rounds of the 2018 RaceDepartment Touring Car Championship. A new series will be coming up shortly, so be sure to keep your eye out for that. But before we say goodbye completely, I want to say thank you very much to Bram Hengeveld, who has been the main organiser to this league, as well as the race room crew at RaceDepartment, who have done their absolute best in making sure that the servers are up, the right tracks are being chosen, and all testing has been completed as necessary, as well as thank you to Peter Lee, who joined me in the couple of the rounds this season before some issues with his computer, as well as to Paul Glover, who's joined me for the most of this season as well. Congratulations then to Ferdinand Lechner, who wins the championship, takes the title of RaceDepartment Touring Car Champion, as well as a $100 Amazon gift card. Well done to Ismail Yakubu, who finished 2nd in the championship and takes a $50 Amazon gift card, and to Tobias Rona, who takes 3rd in the championship and a $25 Amazon gift card. Thank you very much to all of you who have watched this season, as well as all of you who have hit that follow button, that subscribe button, and also have been watching back on YouTube and giving your thoughts to us via there and on the forums. Please feel free to head over to RaceDepartment.com, sign up to become a premium member if you want to take part in these leagues, as well as our almost daily club events. updates, and head over to twitter.com/RaceDepartment to be notified of all the events we have coming up, as well as having a little bit of fun with Paul Glover on the Twitter page. So thank you very much for joining us this season. I hope you have enjoyed it as much as I have, as much as my co-commentators have, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Good night.